letting somebody do what they're really good at and show you how they can step into your head, to step into your brain, and what comes out of it is just, it's absolute magic. It's so fun. I have no idea how you do it, but it was a really fun process.
You're listening to the Copywriter On Call podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Gillis, copywriter, word magic maker, and owner of What Sarah Said. On this podcast, you'll feel empowered to show up online in a way that has you saying, "That's so me." Let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Copywriter On Call podcast. I'm your host, Sarah Gillis, and I am clocking some on-call hours today with a client of mine who's also a friend, Sabrina. Sabrina Gebhardt is a lifestyle, family, and newborn photographer, a business coach, and host of the Shoot It Straight podcast. Welcome, Sabrina. I'm so glad to have you.
Hi, friend. I'm so excited to be here.
Me too. I'm so excited that you are here and to chat all about your website project today. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit more about who you are and what you do and what you love about what you do?
Yeah, so I'm in this interesting position where I have two umbrellas to my business. And so the what I do question, so to speak, is a little unique for me. I have been a family and newborn photographer for almost 13 years, and I'm still actively practicing. I still photograph every single week, and I love that part of my job, to capture memories and to get to be invited into intimate experiences with my clients. Oftentimes it's in the hospital, like 24 hours after their new baby is born, or at home when they've welcomed the baby. And that's just always such a special moment. And it's such an honor that I get to do that. But then I have this other part of my business where I am a business coach, and I coach photographers and female creatives how to have a business that is sustainable and successful. I want them to make money and do really well and be a leader in the field, but I also want them to have that sustainability piece of having a life and not being in burnout and getting to take care of themselves. And it's a really interesting balance. So I have all kinds of ways that you can work with me as far as coaching. And then the podcast is kind of like the education thing. It's little mini coaching episodes, and that's been really fun. I've been doing that for just over a year now.
So awesome. Love that. And tell us where you are and a little bit about you personally too.
Yeah, I'm in Fort Worth, Texas. And let's see, I've got 3 kids. We are in the season of life where they're all at different campuses. So I have a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary schooler. And everybody's active in the sports and the social things. And so I'm just an Uber driver that works for free. And I'm married to my college sweetheart. We've been married for 18 and a half years, which is wild to me. And I've got 2 fur babies at home that hopefully won't interrupt us on our chat today. I'm just doing that mom life and trying to balance the business as well. So I'm right there along with a lot of your listeners.
Yeah, that's what I think makes you so relatable and such a great educator and photographer, really, because you know what it's like. You've walked the walk. You're still walking the walk with a lot of your clients, and both on the photography side and the coaching side. So I think that's wonderful. Let's start by just chatting a little bit about what you were experiencing before we started working together. So tell me a little bit about how your website felt to you before we connected and what you really wanted it to feel like after we worked together.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm in this unique position where I've got 2 very different parts of my business who are targeted to 2 very different people and different locations. And while I have loved being in the education space, it has been confusing at times in my own brain. I actually like to write content. I like to create things. But when it came to my website and figuring out how to make it speak to 2 drastically different audiences, this is too much. It's too much for my brain. And I needed somebody to come in from the outside who was seeing what I was doing and who could learn my personality and do that for me. It was too much to be an inside job, if you will. Like doing the work on my own thing, trying to wear 2 different hats. It was just confusing.
Yeah. I think that's so common, especially for people who either balance different niches or, like you, really straddle both sides of your business. I mean, on the coaching side, you can serve somebody anywhere, right? They can be located anywhere. But obviously you're based in Fort Worth, and so those are your photography clients that you want to serve. And so it wouldn't be helpful if somebody from Canada is like, hey, I really want to hire you.
Right.
Even though you love to travel.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think that it's a challenge that a lot of people can relate to. And you're right. It can be difficult to have one website hub that speaks to both clients because you really do have multiple aligned clients that you want to attract.
Right. Yeah.
Makes
so
sense.
That's where you came in. You helped me filter through the confusion and the mess and create something that really does speak to two different audiences.
Yeah. I think too that when we were working together, you had your brand voice really nailed down. You knew who you were, you knew who you wanted to attract, you had really solid offers. All of the pieces and parts were there. It was just about marrying the two sides of your business really into one cohesive spot, whether you were a photography client or a coaching client, really marrying the two together. And I think that when it comes to website copy in general, having this strong foundation that you had with offers and knowing who you serve and what niches you are active in, what clients you always want to attract and work with, you had such a great understanding of all of that, and it just made the copy process easier. So tell us a little bit about how long it took you to figure out, okay, yeah, I know what my offers are. I know who I want to serve and how I want to serve them, whether it's a full session or a hospital session like you were talking about. So tell us about that progression in your business to really finding those offers that were solid.
So on the photography side of my business, it was definitely an evolution. When I started 13 years ago, I thought I had to do everything, and I thought I had to serve everyone that went into my inbox or text me or sent me an email, and very quickly learned what I liked and what I didn't like. And it was probably the 3-year point in my business when I was willing to say, okay, I'm going to stop doing certain things and I'm going to focus on these other things. And it was really scary. Anybody who's gone through that transition before, it's really scary to think that you're going to say no to people, that you're going to say no to money and hope that other stuff fills in. But it was definitely worth it because slowly that first year that I made that change, you started to see a really drastic difference in the inquiries. They started to be what I wanted to do and what I was showing and who I was working with. And over the years since then, there's been some things that I've stopped doing and then some things that I've added doing. At the time, hospital photography was literally not a thing. And there were times where I saw birth photographers and the magic that they create, but I knew that in my season of life, I don't have the childcare that's available at the drop of a hat anytime. And so I started to see people share about this first 48 thing. And I thought, that's the way that I can do this. And I was one of the first people in our area to do it. And I had to teach my clients like what it was and why they wanted it. And so that was a really fun addition. And then over the years, I also stopped really photographing clients outside. I don't like that. And I will say, I think it's because I live in an area that's not inspiring outdoors. We don't have mountains. We don't have ocean. We don't have anything charming. It's just like city and super hot. And so when I'm photographing people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we are in their home or in a studio. And so I've been pushing away the outdoor stuff. So it's definitely been an evolution over time. I will say the opposite is true in my coaching business. I knew right away who I wanted to serve, who I didn't want to serve, what I wanted to specialize in, and what I was not willing to say. I knew that I wanted to teach the business perspective of photography and not the technical side of things. I'll teach that. I knew I wanted to serve women. Sorry, guys. Sure. And so that was a really immediate, I just knew exactly what I wanted to do there.
Yeah, I love that. I think that gives permission for a lot of us to continue evolving, right? You've been in business so much longer than I have personally. And I know that my own services and offers have evolved so much just in my 3 years of business. And I can only imagine that will continue. And that's okay. Yep. It's okay for things to continually evolve.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing I really want to say about that is that it's also okay to stop doing something that's really working well. That's what people get afraid of. They're like, oh my gosh, this is my top package. This is the thing that makes me the most money. This is the thing that I've quote unquote become known for. But if you don't enjoy it anymore, or it's not serving you in your season of life, it's time to say goodbye to that and hello to something else that will eventually become really successful for your business. It's okay to let go of something that is your bread and butter, so to speak.
It's so scary to do that. Speaking from experience, I said goodbye to one of my biggest clients in my second year of business. And it was just because I was moving into a different space. I was moving into a different phase of life, and their needs were different. Their needs changed, and so did mine. And it can be really scary to say, thank you so much for getting me here, but I know you're not going to get me there. And I'm not going to get you where you want to go. And it can be so hard to say that, but it has been so beautiful to see what comes in that gap from the universe.
Exactly. I think, just like you said, the universe rewards you for being brave. And when you can trust your gut and trust your intuition and make that hard choice, it's literally you have flung the door wide open for the universe to be like, oh, I got this. I've got this covered. You just wait. You just wait and see what's coming. It's really fun.
Yeah, I love that so much. So I think that when we were working together on your website, a lot of the pieces and parts of how you were showing up online were really good and solid. It's just a matter of matching or aligning your website copy to the way you were already interacting with your clients, engaging on social media. And so tell me a little bit about how you were showing up online and how we worked together to kind of match that.
Yeah, I am a very what you see is what you get person. I am an open book. I'm the kind of person that will be at the checkout line at the grocery store. And if somebody asks me a question, I'm like, let me tell you all my deep secrets. Okay. I am willing to put it out there to hold space for people and to be an example and just to love on humans. And so I don't hold anything back. And I show up that way too. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll share it and show it like it is, right? And if you're on my email list, I talk a lot about stuff that's hard and frustrating. And I think when it came to my website, I think also this is probably a common thing. People feel like their website has to be more formal and a little more like, this is quote unquote officially my website. And so things aren't as casual or as conversational. I also feel like your website is not a talking head like Instagram can be. And so it's hard to translate how you're showing up on your Instagram stories into words on a website page. And so that's where you came in.
I think that's so true. And I always love to say that generic, formal, stiff copy doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve your aligned clients. It doesn't serve the people who you want to bring in, and it doesn't serve you because nobody's getting to know each other in that regard. Nobody's building relationships. Nobody's feeling seen or understood. Generic and stiff copy just doesn't help anyone.
Right.
And so I love that we are in a business world now where like we can leave behind the generic copy, the formal, I need to be professional, quote unquote, and just be real.
Yeah.
And real doesn't have to mean the opposite of professional. It's just authentic.
That's so true. Exactly. I feel like in the copy space and also just in the photography industry specifically, it has come so far in 15 years, in 20 years. The photography industry used to be such a bro space. Like photographers were men and they did things a certain way and everybody used studio lighting and everybody had a studio and they really they were jack of all trades and they would photograph anything that came their way and they had all these professional license and degrees and blah, blah, blah. And it is just not that way anymore. It has made a really big 180 to be there's so many powerhouse women and we're doing things differently and we're showing up in the world differently. And websites and copy and just marketing in general has come with it, right? It has gone away from the stiff, formal, in a box, bro energy into, well, you can also be successful and professional and thrive in this whole other realm. And it's been really fun to watch.
I remember when I started my business in 2020, my dad, who's been in human resources for like almost his entire career, is like, you're going to do what now? And I'm like, I'm going to write website copy for people who are like real online. And he's, what do you mean real online? And it's just, he gets it more now. He's, yeah, you write websites. That's what you do. But at the beginning, he was like, what do you mean? Are people real online? Is this social media? Are you talking about social media? But there used to be, I feel like, two separate parts of ourselves where we showed up one way on websites and we showed up another way on social media. And the social media part was, quote unquote, not professional.
Right.
And I just feel like that's just not true anymore. And
Right.
we're proving that both sides of us, both the business side and the personal side, can blend and can really be beautiful in that space.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about showing up online after your website copy project was complete. You had personality-packed copy. It felt a little more polished and a little more like you. So how did that help you reach clients both on the coaching side and on the photography side?
It's this weird energy of, and I didn't really expect this, but it was this weird energy of just kind of knowing that where I was showing up everywhere was cohesive. I knew that I was still showing up on Instagram the same way, still showing up in email marketing the same way. But if people clicked through to my website, which is the goal, they would be exactly, oh, this is exactly what I saw over there. And it was just that like confidence boost of, okay, I'm legit, I'm cohesive. People are they see what they get, and my website's going to match. So that was part of it. The other part of the story is that right before I hired you, I had just done a website switch. So I had moved from Squarespace to Show It. And so my website was completely new. And it felt the perfect timing to have the copy and the website kind of launched at the same time, because the layout changed and it really was focused on, here's Sabrina, the educator, here's Sabrina, the photographer, here's who she is with both of those things. And it was just a really exciting launch. Finally, I had a home base that spoke to all the things I did, who I was, and the language was cohesive. It was just really exciting because before that, it felt very segmented almost, depending on what page you landed on, depending on what, is what you'd see.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel right. And so since then, since working together and having a new website and having all the copy done, my website has just continued to tick upwards, slow and steady. That's how SEO is. It's a slow and steady progression. And so that's just been really fun and exciting and rewarding to see.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you mentioned that you switched platforms too. That's a big transition for anyone. And honestly, pairing the launch of the new design, the new template or layout with the copy, that's a beautiful storm. And I love to recommend that clients tackle both at once. But even if you don't, just the opportunity to feel more like yourself in your copy is really a game changer. It can elevate your confidence in ways that you never expected.
Yeah. Another little fun perk has been that whenever I am writing a caption or an email, or if I'm creating a new sales page for something, I'm able to pull little paragraphs and sentences from copy that you created and slap them into other things. There's so many ways to reuse and repurpose all of the amazing words that are on my website now. And so that's been kind of a fun little perk that I didn't really expect.
Yeah, that's so fun when clients are able to grab pieces and parts and say, you know what, this actually really works for this promotion I'm running, or this really feels like exactly what my clients need to hear today.
Right.
Love that. That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about what it's been like for you to have someone who knows you, but I'm not in your daily life every single moment. So to have somebody capture what you wanted to say or what you hoped in your heart that your website would emphasize, but you haven't really been able to say in a way. How has that felt to you to have somebody come in and get to know who you are, get to know your business, and really pull those emotions and pull those into words?
I will say that it's like working with a wizard. It's like working with a magician or a wizard, because you go through the prep work that you send out for new clients, which is very thorough and really exciting. But still, I'm like answering questions and saying things, and I've got a story and whatever, and I'm putting in all the information, and I'm like, I still don't know how this is going to work, but okay, I'm filling out the form. And then to see the first draft of the copy and to read through it and be like, mind blown. I don't understand how you do that, but it's so incredible. And this is such a perfect example of outsourcing to somebody who is good at this, and what kind of a difference you get than when you just try and figure it out and wing it. I also compare it to when you hire somebody to have your branding done. It's a similar process. It's a really long intake form and a questionnaire, and they're really getting to know your personality. And then all of a sudden they show you a proof and you're like, I don't even know how you came to that, but that's me on paper right there. And letting somebody do what they're really good at and show you how they can step into your head, to step into your brain, and what comes out of it is just, it's absolute magic. It's so, so fun. I have no idea how you do it, but it was a really fun process.
I love that. Thank you for your kind words. I think one of the reasons I love so much working with photographers is because you have such beautiful imagery and you make people feel seen through your images, through your lens. And that's always my goal with copy, whether it's attracting an ideal client or really just speaking words to your story. It's about being seen and about being understood. And so I love the marriage of photos that do that with copy that does that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I have been your copywriter and you have also been my coach. And so I would love to chat a little bit about what that has looked like for your business and what's coming up for you in terms of coaching that you would love to share with our audience.
Yeah. So I have all the coaching. I have a self-study course for photographers. I've got a membership that you are in, and the membership is just this fun little monthly, it's just the best community ever. And then I think the best way to work with me is through my mastermind. It's called Root to Rise, and it's a 4-month experience. It is 4 months of weekly calls, and we go through a book a month together, and we have guest teachers every month, and I do coaching on specific topics. It is a really unique container because the focus is not only on your business. I like to say it is business development meets personal development. Through the experience, there's one-on-one Voxer hours all week, every week, and there's all these calls, and we get to like real heart issues that people don't realize are married to business issues. If you've got boundary issues in your personal life, you have boundary issues in your business. If you have mindset struggles in your personal life, they're carrying over into your business. And so we address all of that in the program. It's kind of like life coaching meets business coaching meets one-on-one coaching with this great community aspect as well. And my favorite part is that baked into the program, you can choose to attend the retreat. And it's 3 days in person, and we photograph sessions together, and we do portfolio reviews and headshots, and we eat well. And it's such a luxury weekend. So the women that have gone through this program have had the most unbelievable transformations, not just in their business, but huge transformations in their personal life and how they show up in the world. And it has just been such an honor and a joy to do it. It's something I thought about for years, and I sat on, and I wasn't sure. And then mid to late 2021, when the pandemic was kind of settling down and people were getting together again, I felt a nudge that I was like, it's time to birth this. And Sarah, I will tell you that it's like, when the retreat is over, the girls leave, and I shut the door on the last person, and I literally weep. I weep every time. And I'm not a crier. I am not a crier. But it is like a full body weep in gratitude that I get to do this. And I tell people it feels almost religious to me that like I am so certain I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So anyways, the next round of that actually opens today, and the 2024 run is going to be early January to early May, and we are going to be in Florida for the retreat this year. So it's going to be absolutely incredible. We're going to shoot a session on the beach. We'll shoot an in-home session. And then our guest educator at the retreat is going to have a branding focus. So we're going to shoot a branding session at the retreat. So the lineup of speakers is incredible. The books are incredible. This will be the 4th run of the program. And I'm really excited to see who jumps in and who's ready to commit to some massive change in their business and in their life for 2024.
Yeah. I love that so much. As somebody who wrote copy for you, but also participated in a previous run of this program, it is so unique, not only to combine the business side with the personal side, but to write copy that really marries both, but then also to experience it in person as well, to be a participant and see the copy that we collaborated on come to life and be made real is such a unique experience. But gosh, If you are looking for accountability, this is the place to go. This is the program you need. Love it.
Thanks. Yeah, it's really fabulous. Obviously, you, Sarah, you did not attend the retreat because not being a photographer, you would have had a lot of downtime.
Right.
But so Sarah participated in just an online only seat, which there are those available for people who can't or don't want to travel to the retreat. And she still got the whole full experience. She just skipped the little weekend that was kind of in the middle. So it's a really unique program and a unique container, and it has evolved slightly every time we've done it for the better, right? It has just gotten better and better. And part of that is, like we talked about earlier, the farther I get into coaching, the better I see the needs of women. I'm able to fine tune things to really hold space for them and to be able to lift them up in the best capacity possible. So it is absolutely my favorite thing that I do. Yeah, so I love it.
I am a proud affiliate of this program. Can't wait to share a little more with you guys about that. But thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. I'm so grateful for you and am so excited that you are happy and pleased with your website project.
Yes, this has been such a fun chat, my friend. Thank you. And yes, I'm so happy with my copy that I literally don't even touch it. I'm like, it's perfect. Don't touch anything. And anytime I do have to create something new, I ping you and I'm like, okay, I need your help because it needs to match all the other good stuff. So it's been such a great experience. Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So I am sending a big virtual hug to Sabrina for joining me today on the podcast. Again, if you are seeking group accountability and one-on-one coaching merged together, the Root to Rise Mastermind and Retreat is for you. Spots are limited both for retreat seats and for online only seats, so you'll want to act fast. I will have the link for you in the show notes, but you can use the code SarahG for $150 off. Super excited. All right, as always, thanks so much for listening, everybody, and this is your Copywriter on Call, signing off. Thanks for listening to the Copywriter on Call podcast. If this episode has you feeling all sorts of inspired to show up as yourself online, click that subscribe button so you don't miss my stories or practical advice to help you express your quirky, vulnerable, and authentic self online. Chat soon.